Well, Barbara Hulanicki's wallpaper was such a success for us in the original launch of our wallpaper collection that we thought it'd be great to get her to do some more products. One of the things that I think across the breadth of designers we work with that's interesting is we have everything from students to very high-profile professional designers working, and the fact that Barbara Hulanicki was launching her brand around the same time as Terence Conran launched Habitat, it's really quite a nice synergy of how rekindling that and making that contemporary fit so well into our collection.
What keeps me designing is the high you get when you're designing. You have no idea how incredible it is. I mean, when all these Beatles were high on whatever, and I used to say, well, I don't need this. I've got it every day. I went to art school to do fashion design, and then in that period, sort of late 50s, it took you so long to get to a designing stage that the quick route was to be a fashion illustrator. And I did that for about six years until just before we started BIBA. I'm very inspired by Art Nouveau.
You know, once you get into a style like Art Nouveau, you just keep developing and taking it further, and it sort of worked with all the flowy clothes and the sort of crepes and chiffons and the prints.
And we always went into shops that had the atmosphere of a period atmosphere, which we always tried to keep to. But the most inspiring was the people who came in and what they did with the clothes, which was so exciting.
Before we started BIBA, it was a pretty dire situation as far as shopping. There's literally, you know, you had money in your hand, but there was nothing to buy. Things started percolating because you had Carnaby Street, which was generally for, it was men's clothes, but at the same time there was Mary Quant in Knightsbridge. And then, of course, Terence Conran was a little later. What was amazing about Conran and Habitat, he was very, very minimalistic and very simple and very, very beautiful design. Habitat was wonderful because it was a very forward-thinking, whereas we were still sort of buying old furniture and bits of velvet and bits of toot.
After 2 hectic years at Abingdon Road, we had Fitz found this amazing old grocery store, and we completely fell in love with it. And as we were bursting at the seams in Abingdon Road, we decided to move up here, which was the best thing that ever happened to us. It was amazing. That's when all the celebrities came pouring in, and it was a complete hive of activity. And we really got our production together, and it was one of the most fun shops we ever had. This is the old big BIBA, which was originally Derry and Tom's, that we used to pass here every day and look at it and admire the architectural details, and I thought one day we're going to get it. And then we got the chance to do it. I think with all the BIBAs was that we found that if you kept the energy in 4 walls, things happened on their own. I mean, our shop was like a hub where people met and brought their boyfriends in, and there was always a space for the boyfriends to sit while they shopped, and it was much more of a sort of meeting places. And everything was affordable. Anybody could afford it.
Habitat had that same sort of atmosphere, so it was a completely young democratic idea. I think it's terrific to be linked with Habitat now as opposed to over the 60s. I did a wallpaper the season before, and it was very successful, so they called me in, and they just said to me, we'd like to do some cushions and carpets, and I did a whole spectrum of design, and everybody always goes back for the BIBA thing. But it was such fun to work with them. They're really great.